Welcome, fellow YouTube watchers. This is Matt here, showing you how to stain drums. Now, this one's already complete. I'll show you how it came out. The badge that I just put on. Just put on all the hardware and the head and everything. Came out pretty deep blue, as you can see. Well, camera isn't the best quality, because it's from my camera phone. But, yeah, it came out pretty nice. So that one's already done. That was just a test drum. Now I just did my 14-inch, I think, rack tom, and it came out pretty good. I darkened in some spots and then did an overall coat. But the first mistake I did when I did this one was I didn't put any painter's tape on the edges. So I did the whole shell. When I put on the heads, as I took them off, it stuck a little bit. So definitely, if you're going to stain your drums, put on some painter's tape. I got some water-based wood stain. It was a combination of the stains called Island Water and Deep Blue Ocean or something like that. And also some paint thinner. That came in handy earlier today when I left my paint out all this morning or last night, and my brush got stuck together. Poor brush. Got stuck together by all the dry paint, and I had to thin it out and just let it rest in a cup. And it thinned out. I thoroughly washed it out, and it came out pretty good. As you can see in my kit, I had this. I found out the front is plastic and the back is like a metal. Metal. And it says here that it is a, can't really see it, but it says it's a heat compression system shell, which probably does something to do with the weather and the cold air and the warm air. I don't know, but I took it off. So yeah, I used a hair dryer to get the seam off, and then pry it off with the screwdriver, and you just peel it really, really hard. And at times I used the butter knife to get underneath. And took off all the lugs, do the lugs first, and then rip off the shell. And what else is there? Taped up all the holes on the inside so the paint doesn't drip. Thing here with this one I already did was the badge, as you can see, and badge is on here as well. So it's screwed in on these teeny tiny screws that aren't. They don't go all the way into the shell. They go maybe 1/4 inch, and underneath this is glue. So I pried that off with the butter knife as well, and took the screws off, put them a little baggy, and I put it back on. And it's kind of hard to put on. It bent a little bit. It's hard to see at first glance, but I got this screw in all the way. But this one's popping out a little bit, so I might keep it. Depends on how it affects the sound. It might rattle a little bit, but we'll see. This is my 10-inch rack tom. I don't really use that one. That's why it's a test drum. But when you're painting, try to avoid this this little vent here. I also have this polyurethane, water-based polyurethane, acrylic polyurethane for floors and trim. I use it for my drums, so that's okay. I did about 2 or 3 coats of paint on this stain, and then 2 coats of polyurethane, and it came out really nice and shiny, and I look forward to using it. I like it a lot better than this wine red shell. I mean, it was alright when I first got it. It was about like 3 or 4 years ago, but it was my favorite color, and I made it the best color that I like. And especially this one, it's come out pretty nice. Some dark spots, some light spots. What I did with this is last night, as you could see the darker and the lighter spots, I painted certain wood grains, the ones that you could see the most, and I painted a good, deep paint over them, and let it dry overnight. And then today, sanded it down really good. Sanded a little bit last night also. And then I did a whole layer, and then when that dried, sanded it again, and I just finished the second layer. Now I'm letting it dry, see how it is tomorrow, and see what I'm going to do. Usually paint, I think this one I did 3 layers, so it depends. This one came out pretty dark. I don't know if I'm going to do the same as this one. This one looks pretty good right now, so I might keep it like that. Just remember that after you polyurethane it, it's sealing everything it protects it from, bugs, blah, 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 scratches, so you don't want to paint it after, or you'll ruin it. The paint will just run off like plastic. Now these little tiny screws I screwed off with the bad with that. I have a mini little tiny screwdriver like this big, Phillips head. I screwed off these bad boy lugs with, as you can see on the inside, screwed them off, and then when I was done, screwed them back on, and then put the drum lugs back on, tighten them finger tight, and I'm going to tune them later on. Trying to think of other. Don't use this as painter's tape to go around the edges. I tried that last night. It didn't work out too good. So I found some old painter's tape in my basement today, and I wrapped it around here. As you can see, I used this tape to do the inside here. And when I took these pieces of tape off of this one, it kind of dripped, but the screws in there cover up the stain anyway, so it's all good. But next time, for these tape, I'm going to use the painter's tape. It might work a little bit better. I have this thing that my mother gave me. It's like a, well, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a dust rag. It's kind of sticky and it's like oily. I don't know. It's kind of gross, but after I sand, I wipe it off and it gets all the little tiny specks of dust off. And she also gave me this little stain pad if you were to use this as opposed to a paintbrush. So I haven't tried that out yet, but I might. This is step 1 if you're doing rack tom and floor tom and kick drum. That's all I'm doing. So this is the rack tom. Next will be the floor tom, and then the kick drum. This is just, as I said, this is a rack tom I don't really use, so I don't know. But yeah, that seems to be it. I will put up a new video soon. See ya.